want me to? Well, I'll ask you right now. How do you guys want me to start? You want me to go through the whole thing?
The whole thing.
Okay.
Do it how you usually do it. From
Okay.
the back to the side and all that.
Sure. Okay. So,
Hold up.
Watch your mouth.
Hurry up, nigga, I'm recording.
Alright, so this is the stihl MS310 chainsaw. It's 2-stroke, air-cooled. 15 pounds approximately. Okay? Its idle RPM is 2,800. Its clutch engage RPM is 3,000 plus. Its max engine RPM is 12,500. Okay? On this side we have the oil filler cap and the fuel, or the oil filler and the fuel filler. Okay? This saw takes 50-to-1 free mix. Okay? It holds 18.9 ounces of fuel, 11.2 ounces of bar oil. Okay? If you do not have still bar oil, you can use 30-weight motor oil. But as soon as you put 30-weight motor oil in this compartment, you have to take the saw to service once you're done cutting. Those are all the main specs for the saw. And the difference between a 2-stroke and a 4-stroke, a 2-stroke has just a jug and a head, is where a 4-stroke has everything. It has valves, it has exhaust valves, intake valves. It's a lot more complicated, cannot rev as high. Okay, we'll start with the 21 parts of the saw. I like to start at the back and move my way to the left or the right. Okay, so in the back here, we have the twist lock, right here. Inside, when you move the twist lock, you have the spark plug boot, which is right in here, next to the spark plug. Okay. The back here, we have the master control switch. Okay. Throttle interlock, throttle, right below the throttle interlock. We have the rear handle, the rear hand guard. Okay. Flip it over. Like I said before, this is the fuel filler cap. This is the bar oil filler cap. This is the starter grip. Stays in. This is the front handle. This is the front hand guard. Okay. Go over to this side. We have the sprocket. We have the sprocket cover. We have the chain brake. We have the chain tensioner. I say the chain lubrication just because I always remember. Chain lubrication is up here. We have the remember now. Chain catcher. You have your chain catcher, which is this small little piece right here. It's your chain catcher. Okay. We have our 20-inch bar. We have an automatic saw chain. We have our bumper spike. We have our muffler right in front. Okay. Muffler's right in front, the big, huge square piece. Okay. Those are your 21 parts. Okay. The main talking points for the saw are pretty much along the same lines as the parts. Okay. In the back here, right here, we have the master control, 4 positions. Okay, I'll flip it back around again, try and do this backwards. 4 positions. All the way down is cold start. Cold start is more fuel, less oxygen. This is used for when the saw is in a cold environment. Okay. 1 up from that is hot start or warm start. This is less fuel, more oxygen. This is where the saw will run. This position the saw will run. Okay. 1 click above that is run. Is optimal air to fuel mixture. This is the position of the saw when the saw is cutting. This is optimal performance. The top position is off or stop. Nothing goes on in this position. This stops the saw. Okay, we'll open the twist lock. We have 2 air filters in this saw. Our first stage and our second stage. We'll talk about the first stage first. First stage is a plastic filter, like so. It has 2 settings, cold and hot. Cold climate and hot climate. We keep it in the hot climate. Okay. We have our second stage, or second air filter, which is paper. Okay. This catches the rest of the particulates that the first stage did not catch. Okay. We have our spark plug up here, 0.020 gap. Alright, put the twist lock cover back on. I don't have an expanded saw out, but below the second stage air filter, you have the carburetor. Carburetor is used to give proper air-fuel mixture for the saw. Over here, we have the high and low speed adjustment. These adjust the idle of the saw. We're not allowed to touch these at Real Honda Fire Academy. Over on this side of the saw, we have our flywheel cover. Our flywheel cover houses our spring-loaded paws that lock into the flywheel. Okay? These lock into the flywheel and allow you to start the saw. Okay, right here we have the flywheel. The flywheel has 2 purposes. Okay, we have our opposing magnetos and our, I'd call them fins. Okay, the opposed tine. No, they're not tines. Tines are what lock in. We have our opposing magnetos. These generate electricity for the saw. Okay? When this rotates, it generates electricity and moves it into the stationary magneto, which is right here, which is the black part. Okay? I'll get back to the second use of the flywheel right now. Second use of the flywheel is these fins. These fins turn, generate air, pull it through the flywheel cover and into the cylinder head. Okay? Like I said, with the stationary magneto, this captures the electricity from the opposing magnetos and sends it to the spark plug. Where the spark plug creates spark, creates combustion. Okay. Saw over to this side. Okay. Meat and potatoes of the saw. Right here we have our centrifugal clutch. On this side right here. On top of that sits the clutch drum. Talk about the centrifugal clutch first. This will engage at 3,000 RPM plus, allowing the saw to spin like so, and the chain will move. Okay. Chain brake will clamp onto the clutch drum and allow the chain will not move even if you hit the gas. That's all you gotta say. Okay. We have the chain tensioner right here. Right for tight, which will move this forward. Okay. What you want optimal chain between the bar is a dime. Okay. We have our chain lubricator. This puts still bar oil into the raceways of the bar and allows the chain to be lubed. Keeps the chain cool so you don't burn a chain. The bottom here, also along with the chain lubrication, we have the oil-o-matic. This is how you adjust the chain lubrication. Right for more oil, left for less oil. This is pretty much oil quality control. Allows you to put more or less oil into the saw. And that's it. Oh, okay. That's it for that part. Alright, on this side, we have a 20-inch bar. We have, on this saw right here, we have a standard chain. There's 3 types of chain: standard, carbide, and bullet. Okay? There is, on this chain, 18 left, 18 right-facing teeth, and 72 drive lanes. Now we'll get into the maintenance of the saw. I'll start with the bar. The bar will get, the chain, then I'll go to the bar. The chain, whenever there is 6 teeth total, or 3 in a row, this chain needs to be replaced. Whenever you take the chain off of the bar, you need to rotate the bar. Alright? And the air filters, we'll get back to those real quick. Okay? The first stage air filter you can wash with soap, mild soap and water. Okay? The plastic, or not the plastic, I'm sorry, the paper, you can either blow out with air, or if there's stubborn dirt, you can wash it. Alright. So, what's up? I just totally ripped ass, didn't I? Yeah, I did. I know. You guys get, okay. The safety concerns for this saw, there's 7, okay? Wear full PPE at all times. Make sure the area is clear. Cannot start in a hazardous atmosphere. You cannot cut in line with your body. The chain brake has to be on at all times. The saw has to be well maintained at all times, and you cannot cut over your head. Okay? Okay, there's some troubleshooting with this saw. If the saw does not start, the first thing that you need to check is if the saw is in the cold start, hot start, or run position. If it is in the off position, the saw will not start. Second thing you can check is the spark plug. Make sure the spark plug boot is in, or if you have to, pull the spark plug out and make sure the gap is correct, which is 0.020. And also the thing you need to check if the saw does not start, make sure you have fuel in your saw. Alright. If the saw starts, you get your saw to start, and you release your chain brake like so, and you get the chain rotating at idle. That means your low-speed idle adjustment is out of adjustment. You need to have an instructor adjust it. If you start your saw, and you get a puff of black or white smoke, that means you have bad premix, and the saw needs to be drained of fuel and put new fuel in for the saw to run. And that is it for the Stihl 310 chainsaw.